Hello, Steve White Trek Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, Star Trek collectors had some bad news today. Apparently, Playmates announced that they are no longer producing Star Trek action figures. Why is this? They point to disappointing sales. Why is that not a surprise? Because of all the stupid things they did. Now, Playmates had a great line of Star Trek toys in the 90s. They screwed it up towards the end and killed it, but for a while it went really well. For about 5 or 6 years it went really well. Now they went back to Star Trek for the 2009 film and just made a complete mess of it, and then they came back a third time. Now this time they said they were going to they basically sold it as they were going to continue the original toy line, which were 4.75-inch figures, but they didn't really do that. Because you'll notice here from my Spock figure, which is the only character here, which is a new Playmates figure, all the rest, which, as you can see, are like 5 rows deep here of figures. Only one of them is new because that's the only figure they produced that I didn't have, that I wanted. They didn't do the whole, oddly enough, one of the things they failed at was they didn't do all of the motion picture characters in the motion picture uniforms. They just did the Generation cast members and Savick. They didn't do Spock, they didn't do Uhura, they didn't do Sulu. So that's the only one I bought. But as you can see here, he's 5 inches. He doesn't actually match Kirk in scale. He's taller and his uniform doesn't match, the detail doesn't match. So why would I buy these characters that don't match the set they've already got? They don't continue that collection that I've already got. And the other issue, I think was the main issue, was they didn't commit to any actual lines, like whole lines of characters or crews. They just gave us a couple of characters out of random series. They gave us Saru, who I love, and Michael Burnham from Discovery in the Season 1 uniforms, which are out of date. Hello, we're up to Season 5, and back then we're even in Season 3 and Season 4. So no one wanted them, no one bought them. They did the Next Generation Picard, Data, and Riker, but again, we've already got those characters. There's nothing new about them. They're not in the same scale as the others anyway. And there's no commitment to give us the rest of the characters or to give us any variations of the characters we already had. So why? I mean, collectors want collections. They want sets. They want to complete things. Buy them all, collect them all. Like, you can't keep doing this thing they do where they try and create new collections to try and make us buy everything all over again instead of continuing the collections and giving us variations and stuff like that. They just try and trick us and try and make us buy characters we don't want. So now also with this line, they did do Wrath of Khan, Kirk, Spock, and Khan, but again, that's it. No commitment to the other characters. And Prodigy, they screwed over the Prodigy fans a little bit. They did 4 of the 6 characters, and they left off 2. And now the fans are never going to get them, but that's their own fault because there's not enough of them. Clearly, if there were as many of them as there needed to be, and they'd all bought the toys, they would have continued on with that line. But the fans don't, no one really loves the show. There's a small amount of people who act like they are very important, but they're a small amount of people, and then they're not a force in buying. So that's why that died. But they still should have committed to the whole line and given those fans the whole crew. Now they've just got 4 members of a 6-member cast. What a nightmare. And this is the same stuff they did before. They've bought the IP 3 times, they've bought the license 3 times, and they've done the same thing the last 2 times. Now, what they did with the 2009 line, which was an absolute nightmare, they, instead of giving us a continuation of the same line of 4.75 figures, they gave us 3-inch figures and 7-inch figures to try and make us buy 2 sets. And then they also split those characters over the cadet uniforms and the movie uniforms, the proper ones. So if you want all the characters, you had to buy them in both sets of uniforms, and then supposedly in Wave 2 you would have got the other characters in the other uniforms. So then you would have ended up buying all the characters in both cadet uniforms and the general sort of uniforms. No one wanted that, so people didn't buy. They gave us a bridge set, but they only gave us the main parts and like a placemat. And then you're supposed to get all the other parts for the consoles and that with the actual characters, which is annoying because you had to buy all the characters to get what should have been all part of the Bridge playset. But then they didn't even do that for the international fans. Here in Australia, you could buy the Bridge playset, but you couldn't actually buy, none of the parts came in any of the toys. So I could buy as many figures as I wanted, but I wouldn't get any parts to the Bridge, any more parts to the Bridge. So that was a slap in the face. So we didn't do that either. So they just didn't learn. They just tried to manipulate us and tried to mess us around again, and people didn't buy. And you know, the audience is there, the fans are there. If you treat them right, they will buy the toys. But they just keep trying to mess with us and keep messing with themselves. So yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I also hear that Super 7 might be stepping away because their pre-sales for the next generation characters and stuff like that, like Whoopi Goldberg's character and that, haven't been selling so well. And that's probably because I as much as I wanted that figure, I was not willing to commit because of everything else.